Well, today we're talking about being a global citizen in your community. You might ask what it is to be a global citizen. Well, I've traveled the world extensively. I've lived in exotic places and ate food that I can hardly pronounce. I've visited orphanages in India, Africa, China, and even lived in Uganda for over 2 weeks where I worked with women and children in Kampala. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beauty that this world holds. I've engulfed myself into different cultures and made sure wherever I go to leave a little bit of myself behind and take a little bit of the place with me. But it was only after this, after traveling the world for 3 years, integrating with different cultures and people, that I truly realized what it means to be a global citizen. By definition, a global citizen is someone that is aware of and understands the wider world and their place in it. Being a global citizen is knowing your place in the world and how you can contribute in affecting change. You don't have to have traveled the world to become a global citizen, speak 7 languages, or even eat food that you can't pronounce. You can be a global citizen in society, community, your friends group, or even your family. Being a global citizen is having situational awareness and being a leader of change. For instance, helping out at a nearby orphanage, helping with a community project, a feeding scheme at church, or even helping your neighbor mow their lawn. Those are all elements affecting change and moving the world forward, cementing your place in the world. Being a global citizen is all about making a positive impact, however big or small that might be. Step out of your comfort zone and broadening your horizon is important to make connections with other cultures. Understanding their points of view, belief systems, and way of life is a crucial component in fostering empathy on a global scale. Spending time with people from different cultures, backgrounds will not only give you an insight into their situations, it will give you a global perspective on life. It will teach you empathy, a component vital in affecting change in our communities and the greater world. With empathy at play, you now gain a better understanding of the world around you and your part you play in it. Having a global perspective makes you an asset to your community, your society, and on a bigger scale, our world. As soon as you become aware of the world around you and your place in it, you can then play an active role in your community by taking hands with others and making this world a more peaceful place to live in. Think of it like this. A drop in the ocean might not seem like it makes any difference, but millions of drops in the ocean affects change. Once you become a global citizen in your community, you'll be able to affect change, and a wave of change will start within that community. We all seem so different from one another, and the world might seem to you like this vast, big, open space. But once you start opening yourself up and immersing yourself into other cultures, the more you will start seeing the similarities between all of us. There are things that connect all of us, and that is our need for love and human interaction. In every culture, the language of love is the same. We might call it by different names, but the meaning, the feeling, and the change it has on us stays the same. As a global citizen, we understand and nurture respect for others, wherever they may come from or whatever our walk of life. The more you know about the world around you, the bigger the role you play will be. Imagine all of us stepping out and doing our part in our communities. Instead of complaining about the litter on the streets, a global citizen will take action, responsibility, and clean it up, because they are willing to make the world a more equitable and sustainable place. Just imagine if we stop complaining and start doing. Imagine if everyone in the world knows their place in it and starts playing their part. So you might ask, how do we make members global citizens? Well, through education. Jerome S. Brimmer says that education must be only a transmission of culture, but also a provider of alternative views of this world and a strengthener of skills to explore them. Meaning pupils in schools need to be made aware of what it means to be a global citizen. Working groups with different cultures and sexes will teach pupils about others and will create an environment where empathy for others can grow. Thus, by creating situational awareness at a young age and creating a generation that is focused on their role in this world. Know what goes on in your world, watch the news, read news journals, research important events and trending topics, Ask questions, start conversations. Knowing what is going on in the world around you is paramount in being a global citizen. Once you know your place in the world, you will start affecting those around you to take up their space in our world. Then as global citizens, we won't just fall for anything, but we will stand up for what is right in our societies. For instance, as South Africans, we would be aware of the situation in Zimbabwe, and we will not stand for something like xenophobia. We would welcome and support all people from Zimbabwe, as we would be globally aware of what is going on and what our role is in making this world a better place. Let's take an everyday situation. You are a lecturer or a teacher. You start a class and a student is 10 minutes late. You now ban them from actually coming into class. But you are not aware that their public transport was late, that they had to walk 5 kilometers to even get a taxi or a bus. You're not aware that what it took for them to even make it to class, how many jobs they are working to afford an education. You are now taking that education away from them. Now, is that bettering the world around us? No, it most definitely is not. We are not moving the world forward. We are hindering growth. Instead of having a conversation about the situation and understanding the world around us, you shut the door on growth. The same goes for business owners. If you know your employees' circumstances and their situations, you will have a better understanding of what makes them tick. If you're a global citizen within your business and you create an environment where your employees can thrive, an environment where they feel fulfilled and that is mentally healthy, your business will thrive. Now imagine we had global citizens in every area of life, in governments, schools, universities, communities, workplaces, even our friendship groups. People that know their place in the world and that's doing something to make it a better place. Imagine the immeasurable difference that we can make. One of the women I admire and someone I think was a torchbearer for global citizenship is Mother Teresa. After I visited one of her orphanages in Calcutta, a quote of hers stuck by me for all these years. The quote said that if you judge people, you have no time to love them. So instead of judging someone because they are different from you, or because you might not understand something they do, say, or feel, instead, let's have those important conversations about being different from one another. Let's start asking vital questions and show interest in other cultures. Let's become global citizens in our communities and be torchbearers for change. A million raindrops can fill the ocean and will start a wave.